call this meeting to order at 6:08, 6:11?
6:11.
Let me see. And so, thank you for the minutes. And, does anybody want to read the minutes from the last meeting?
Sure. I didn't hear you said sure. Meeting called to order at 6:10 p.m. Present Director Jen Crosby, Chair Helen Folio, Bernadette Archambault, Denise Conti, Melissa Harder, Helen Hertel, and Rosemary Rosen. Absent, Nina Abbott, Jennifer Chauvins, Candice Rivera. Minutes of last month's trustee meeting were read and accepted as corrected with motion by Helen, seconded by Bernadette. All in favor. Director's report. Building update. Weather is looking good for the library paving project. Staff must park at Dickinson Farms and report to work on Tuesday, June 10th. Operations update. Jane's retirement party is Wednesday, June 4th at 5:30. Wendy New will start as hand logger, circulation assistant on June 11th. Jen will create a welcome packet with important information and hold regular meetings to get everyone acclimated. The updated dress code policy was read and discussed. The new policy will allow staff to dress comfortably while maintaining a positive image to the public. Logos, graphics, and wording are not allowed on clothing unless they are Granby Free Public Library specific. A motion was made to accept the updated dress code policy by Melissa with a second by Denise. All in favor. Current statistics update. Circulation for May was 5,440. Total network transfers were 3,817, 744 items from other libraries, and 3,073 items from our library. Library saved community approximately 72,000. Warrants 2,476.18 by Dorenzi and Baker and Taylor. Motion made by Helen to accept and sign, seconded by Bernadette. All in favor. Other. Janet and Paula will put together welcome packets for the new trustees for next meeting. These will include important budget information along with copies of the last few minutes meeting. The current library hiring committee will remain the same for the next round of hiring, pending the vote to approve the library's budget at the town meeting on June 9th. Glenn will reach out to Kansas to see if she's available. A nominating committee must be formed in order for new officers to be appointed at the next trustee meeting. Positions are open for co-chair and secretary. Both Rosemary and Melissa showed interest. Helen, Paula, and Denise will serve as the nominating committee to meet at 5:45 p.m. on Tuesday, July 8th. That Archambault has submitted a letter to the Board of Library Trustees announcing that she will be resigning from the board as of June 3rd, 2025. We wish her the best in her future endeavors. The trustee directory was updated, including the information from our newest members. Meeting adjourned at 7:14 p.m. Next meeting, July 8th, 2025 at 6 p.m. Respectfully submitted, Jennifer Crosby, Library Director.
Anybody see anything that needed to be amended? I thought it looked great.
Okay.
Jen will reach out to Candice to see if she's agreeable. So that was the committee, the hiring committee?
To remain on that committee.
Okay, gotcha.
That was agreeable.
Anybody want to make a motion to accept the minutes as read?
I'll make the motion to accept the minutes as read.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, do you want to do your library director's report next?
I will try to blow through this as quick as possible. Our parking lot update, the paving project has been completed. The library did have to be closed from Tuesday to Thursday due to rain. The weather was not favorable. And an accident with one of the workers. We are all very happy to be back open. The lot looks beautiful, and we'll be waiting about a month or two before the lines can be painted to let it set. So that'll be coming. On our operations update, the town approved our budget at town meeting, including the additional funds for our 25-hour circulation assistant position, which we will talk about. And I have a letter that was submitted to us by Janice McCardle, our youth services librarian, announcing her retirement
Oh, wow.
as of September 29th. And I don't know if you want to pass that down. Actually, I think I already sent it to Paul. I sent it to you. So you have a copy for your records?
Yeah.
Okay. So
What's her date again, Jen?
September 29th. So we've got a little bit of time.
Monday, okay.
Yeah.
Not a lot of time.
Yeah, not
Not a lot of time.
We'll have to, that'll be something we'll have to discuss, looking at the job position and, just ironing out everything with that, the hiring committee. Be a little bit more footwork involved in that. But we'll have to also talk about what we want to do to honor her. Who's been, a pretty decent amount of time that she's put in here in our community, and everyone's going to miss her. So, we can discuss that moving forward as well. Just wanted to let everybody know. The library hiring committee, I already said that, will be tasked with reviewing the job description. And then Wendy New, our new cataloger circulation assistant, is doing amazing. She's a wonderful asset to our community, our library. She's already gone above and beyond with her cataloging skills. It's very cool to watch. She's doing great, which has been very helpful because the summer is very busy. So very happy that she's been able to hit the ground running, which we kind of knew she would. So that's been really great. What else do I have on here? The hours discussion for the new circulation assistant position. So I did, since it's 25 hours, it doesn't cover the entire time that the library is open. So this person is basically going to be handling our busiest times and I call it the nights and weekends. So they'll be doing Thursday evenings, every single Saturday, and then our mornings, so 10:30 to 3:30 on Tuesday, Wednesday, and then covering all day Friday, which will free up the Saturdays a bit, which will make things easier to rotate out the professional staff from Saturdays more often. And,
So this person will be working 5 days a week?
so they'd be working Tuesday through Saturday. And limited hours, 10:30 to 3:30 on Tuesday and Wednesday. They'll be working 2 to 7 on Thursday, all day Friday, because that's the day everybody always wants off, and then Saturday mornings. So it'll be a pretty decent amount of time. It'll really only be 7.5 hours that they're not covering out of the week. So it'll be really easy to adjust our volunteer schedule around that. And,
Was 25 hours the target that you were looking for this position?
about that, yeah, I think we had originally, we wanted to keep it under full-time. And, I think we had looked at doing 2 15-hour positions, which would have been ideal, but then that got nixed. So we went with the next best thing, which was adding some hours and making it 1 part-time. But I think it's a pretty decent amount of hours for someone to come in.
It's a brand new position, correct? One
Yes.
we've never had, so.
Yep,
Correct.
No benefits whatsoever?
no benefits, no. So,
Oh, wait.
Great.
yeah, this one's part-time only.
Okay.
Yeah. And let's see, what else do we have here? A little. So our current statistics, our circulation for June was 5,180. Our total network transfers were 3,712, which was 702 items from other libraries and 3,010 from our library. I thought it was really interesting that our circulation dipped just a tiny bit, not a whole lot, but the network transfers went up a bunch. So it's really kind of interesting to see that happening at the beginning of the summertime. We saved our community approximately $69,000. And then, so I have 2 things. I have the warrants, and I also we have to go over our trustee duties and responsibilities. Do you want me to wrap up what I have to do, and then we can do the duties?
Sure. Yeah.
So we have 3 warrants for payment. You could tell it was the end of the fiscal year. I've definitely spent down those accounts to the penny. We have one for $2,151.51, which is paid to Lakeshore Learning, the Library Store, Baker and Taylor, and Midwest Tape. Then one is for $2,130.98 for Go Net Speed, Quill, Baker and Taylor, the Library Store, the Daily Hampshire Gazette, and Demco. And the last one is for $2,154.45 for Demco, the Library Store, Baker and Taylor, Lakeshore Learning, and Entree Technologies. Most of the bulk of these were buying books at the end of the year to spend up what we needed to do
Oh, good.
requirements.
Somebody want to make a motion to sign the warrant? To accept the warrants?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Right. Can I ask the Gazette, what was that for?
The newspaper.
I know. Oh, to get it here.
Yeah, we have a yearly subscription.
That makes
It's
sense.
out on the table.
Yes, I just never thought about, I thought it was sort of free. Of course not.
Definitely.
I can bring you mine every day. No, but I don't see that there's enough coverage of things going on in Granby, that's the reason I asked, because there are a lot of good things happening in this library, and I would like to
You
see.
do get the Sentinel and the Town Reminder are both
Yes.
full, and they put a lot.
I gather they do a better
Covers a lot
job
of
of
things.
covering Granby, but.
Yeah. And those we
Melissa
get.
knows I've raised this subject before.
Yeah, it's important.
And I did get an answer. There's one reporter, and she had, I sent her an email because her byline, she has a byline. So she said, contact me. So I did, and I complimented her on an article that she wrote about the music program, but I also said, it was right after the election, and I was distressed not to see more coverage. Anyway, she said she was the only person. So I asked her if she needed help. She didn't answer me. But, if we have to send her articles, we can do that. But we'll see. You know what I mean?
They are in my list of contacts that I send all of our.
You probably do, right? They get them.
But yeah, I don't know how often they actually run them for us.
Mm.
They do
Okay,
put it out there,
just
it's
expecting to,
tough.
I don't get the Sentinel, but I gather they do a better job of covering.
Yeah, we get them here, so you're welcome to pick one up when you're here as well.
Okay. Thanks.
Of course. Okay, so we have our duties and responsibilities. Everybody should have that in their packet. Every year when we start fresh, we have to go over it and see if there's anything that should be changed, anything that's not applicable anymore, if everyone wants to just read it over.
I like this one. The trustee resigns before his or term is up. A new trustee is appointed by vote of the members of the Board of Trustees and the Board of Selectmen to replace him or her until the next election.
Sounds really easy.
Why, is that new?
No,
It just didn't really work well.
we had a challenge with the select board.
So that will be,
Select board's changed. That's right, it will no longer tell us.
Mark will be more cooperative, I'm sure.
so that would be an effect for Bernadette's position, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we knew of somebody that was interested.
We had a candidate who went through the process and was turned down by the select board. And
After this group submitted the name,
mhm.
Wow.
they have the authority to do
The
that?
select board did decide not to put that person in that role, and so I reached out to her when I realized there was another
Oh,
opening.
sure.
She just didn't respond, so
What was the rationale for that?
I can't speak to it. There was no rationale other than they were in charge and they were not gonna appoint this person, even though it was for like 6 I don't know, 6 weeks or 3 weeks or a short period of time. So here it is in black and white, and yet that previous select board was.
But this says and, it doesn't say, this says and, it says by a vote of the members of the Board of Trustees and the Board of Selectmen. I mean, that, to me,
Chose not to agree with our policy.
okay, so they just have to agree, but they can override.
They did, yeah.
Hmm.
Very frustrating,
They can
very
override.
frustrating.
I'm learning to.
No one exactly knows. I don't think it's anywhere in any, like, town bylaws that they can. Do you know, Jen? I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything in the bylaws I looked at.
Okay,
That is true though, because if it's an and there's no alternative here, like if somebody and then you have nothing.
And that's what happened, we had nothing.
That's unfortunate.
It is.
so, I mean, what would you have had to do? Resubmit another, or submit another name?
Yes. Well, there's a process that takes place in which an article is put in the newspaper saying that there's an opening.
Who's interested,
Who's
kind of thing?
interested, and they come forward and write a letter saying that they're interested.
And there was a
We set
deadline.
Deadlines, and then when we came to the select board, they just made it very difficult for us to, one, have a quorum, because we were short,
Oh, my God.
trustee, and then
What was did they give you a reason? Or give that person a reason?
they really didn't, did they? I don't recall, but they did.
Expiration date.
They just said, we're not approving this person.
Yes.
How does this get changed? How do you change this?
I think the board would change it and
This,
vote on it.
this board? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I don't know if the town could then supersede the policy.
If it's helpful, I mean, maybe we could ask. Just because, so you wouldn't have to go through that again.
Yeah,
And the new position has been posted. It's posted here, it's posted on our website.
Oh, is it?
Bernadette's position?
Yeah, but I haven't heard anything from anyone interested,
I'll
so.
have to pass the word.
Maybe Janice would like to be a trustee.
Yes, probably wants to enjoy.
She wants to get out of here. Wants to get out of here. Okay, okay.
Come back that fast.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Sorry for that, but I needed to
God.
vent.
Yeah, it's frustrating because, we could have it in our policy and it's not necessarily what's going to hold up with the powers that be. So.
Can I ask, when are the yearly state level functions for the library? Number 5.
Most of them have been online.
There have been orientations for new trustees in the past. I went in person. I think it's probably more
From the what? From the,
MBLC.
The Board of Library Commissioners.
okay. But if we wanted to go to a meeting, it would be online? I'm just curious.
Yeah, some of them are in person. They do make a lot more easy to attend now with the online.
Do you expect some of us to go, Jen, or what?
You're welcome to when they do come out. I know the last one they had recorded it, and like they did it online. They recorded it and made it available to anyone who wanted to watch it. So I can get those links too if you wanted to see that.
Only
It's helpful to go to
if
the
you want us,
orientation.
I mean,
Yeah.
whatever you think is helpful. I don't need another meeting, but if it's helpful for some of us to go and represent us.
Okay.
Well,
And I did add you both to
up to you.
the mailing list, so you should be
Yeah.
receiving emails.
I think it's probably good to go. I mean, they
Yeah.
provide a lot of training, but I suspect that maybe, well, I don't know when they cut the in-person training, but maybe it has to do with the cut in IMLS funding. The training for library directors, I think, was part of all that
Yeah.
cut. So,
It was during COVID that they ended up making,
oh, things online.
yeah,
More
and,
available
and, yeah,
that way.
and they just stayed with it more so,
Mm.
you know.
Okay,
Probably good. Probably
It's
good.
always good to network and see how other libraries operate, and get ideas back to the table.
sure.
I'll go back through my emails and send that to you. So you have that somewhere.
Well, they have a lot of responsibility.
Oh,
I know, it's interesting, wow.
It's a big, big help.
I have a question about the source of funds. Where it says that all funds must be spent. Is that just consistent with town funding or state funding or?
Yes, the funding that the town gives us yearly, that we make sure we spend that down.
That's
every
just
year.
part of state law for the source of our money.
Yeah, that's well, so we have two, also receive grant money from the state. There's two different, there's the money we get from the town and the money
Right.
we get from the state for the grant. And we try to spend those both down to the best of our ability every year.
But it's required that they be spent?
Yes, yeah, within a certain parameters.
So if we had to purchase something that had like installment payments over multiple years, how would we do that?
Good question.
I would probably have to go to town meeting.
Yeah, or something like that.
Awesome.
Be like a capital
Okay.
expense
I mean,
type
if
of
it was a
deal.
huge expense, like,
Yeah, I mean, I'm more familiar with a budget where there are multiple year opportunities, so that's the only reason I'm asking.
Single year.
But
per year.
we don't really encounter that.
No, not really.
Okay,
Not yet. If it's anything that's significant, we usually would bring it for like a capital improvement through the town.
right,
Which would then
that
be
would
added
be
as a-
built in as a multiple year thing,
Yeah,
right, and approved as a multiple year item.
right.
Right, okay.
Anybody have any questions about their duties?
See anything significant that needed to be updated or changed? It's pretty straightforward.
The only thing I was wondering about, it says, notice of the vacancy should be publicized in the newspaper, but a lot of people don't read the newspaper anymore.
I know Kathy
put-
does put it in there.
Right, but
Sure.
maybe that's why we're having a hard time finding people though. 'cause-
I know last time we had gotten multiple
From the newspaper?
Yeah, but I don't know if it was.
But you have it posted on the
That's right, you
website also,
came
right?
over the
Yeah.
last time, posted,
Me?
right, didn't you? Yeah.
Yes, how did, but it wasn't from the newspaper.
Mhm.
I wonder if it was from
Word
me,
mouth.
the word of mouth.
For me.
Yeah.
Word of mouth.
It was
Right?
easy.
Yeah.
My source of information.
Huh, I know, because it's been on our bulletin board and it's been on our website, it's just.
It would have,
Maybe this town runs on Facebook. Maybe if you put it on Mark's thing.
You can get
Granby
it.
Connect.
It's the Granby
Website.
Connect now?
Yeah.
Or
It's not the
even,
Granby Town Meeting?
Or, no, he changed it.
Yeah.
Also, what's the other one? Who's Granby?
Good News Granby, yeah.
Okay.
but
We
it's,
put it if we send it to him.
Oh, sure.
but it's very personal kind of thing. So all of us might, I mean, I don't know
That's
that many
true.
people, but you guys might know people, right, whom you might,
Once it's shared, we can reshare it too.
right.
So did Kathy post it in the town line here in the Sentinel?
I believe it was in, gosh,
So I think you submitted it.
I,
It was also on the Friends has a form,
Friends had it.
and somewhere in there where you check off volunteer or whatever, I checked off that I would be interested in being a trustee. It was there.
yeah, their form.
And also at the town office, if you go in there, I think there were 3 openings at the time or something like that, right?
Yeah, they're,
You just go ask them, people would know, but
yeah.
maybe all the ways to get out to people,
And the library has a Facebook page?
Yeah.
That we would be able to share it with the town things.
Yeah, definitely. I can have our social media person do that.
Yeah.
Is that you?
I think it sounds so official. No, Brittany Huff is our corresponding secretary for the Friends. So she kind of takes over all of the social media, makes all those posts that you see happen.
Great.
Did you use Canva?
She does use Canva.
Yeah,
We
she
love
does great
Canva.
work.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
That's one that comes in like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yes, yep, that's her. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
Great, it's good to get like a rundown. Okay, yeah, I can make sure that happens.
Yeah,
Try to
good.
get the ball rolling on that.
Like Rosemary said, yeah, Facebook is a big part of, like, there's a lot of Granby people that are on Facebook and on those town sites, so I think that would be another avenue to,
Yeah, definitely, I will do that.
We can ask the Board of Selectmen if they haven't been in mind. No, teasing.
Have them approve it first and then.
Let's see, do we want to make a motion to accept?
Do we accept it or do we have to amend it by adding, because it says just publicized in the newspaper? Do we have to amend it to say and other social media forms or other social media outlets? I don't know how to word that.
Or generally publicized, something like that. I mean,
Yeah.
whatever.
yeah,
That'd be
make
good.
it broad.
We could change that. So notice of the vacancy should be publicized in the newspaper.
On social media.
We could just say, and generally publicized, or without being so specific.
Because,
Whatever.
because Facebook change, you never know what's gonna happen. It's a-
Yeah,
I think
You know?
you have to keep the wording that it needs to be publicized in the newspaper, since that's
It's probably the
the town.
regulations, yeah.
oh, okay.
So like, is the town website, is that social, would you consider that social media? Because they should put it on there
I
too.
think they do put it on there.
Not really planners.
No, they put our job posting on there, but I don't know about the trustee posting.
They should,
It's out there or not, but
They
it's on the
should.
website.
Yeah, I was gonna say, shouldn't it be on there,
Yeah, it should be.
the posting, yeah.
I'll check.
So how did we decide to?
I I think somebody could make a motion to accept the policy for the library board of trustees duties and responsibilities as amended.
The question was, did you have wording for that?
I did not. Social media was mine, but
Is
you
that
guys,
it?
you said something.
I just said generally publicized, but Jen said it
We
was
have to
required that we mention the newspaper,
Okay.
so,
Yeah, newspaper.
and other,
Other appropriate
yeah, other appropriate,
communication channel.
something like
Yeah.
that.
Methods of
Hey.
communication.
Yeah, other.
And other means of,
Recruitment? Publicizing.
No, so I think we were talking about Granby Connect, Good News Granby. Do we call that social media?
That's what.
Yeah, yeah,
So I guess just social media. then.
Newspaper.
sure, that's enough.
Social media on social media. On relevant social media. Yeah, that could include the town and us.
Right.
You need a motion?
I think relevant is a good
Yeah.
word to put in there.
Yeah. Okay.
So you think that does include websites?
Yeah.
We'll just say that. Yes.
This is that.
Yeah.
We'll link it to the website. And then that's perfect.
Then it's social.
So do you want to read it, Jen, the way you worded it?
Yes, so let's see, starting, in order to find acceptable candidates, notice of the vacancy should be publicized in the newspaper and on relevant social media, and interested people asked to contact the chairperson.
Perfect. I make a motion that we accept the duties and responsibilities for the Granby Public Library Board of Trustees as amended and read.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
You.
Okay, that's done.
And let's see. With that being said, the nominating committee for the secretary and the co-chair. We were looking to see about postponing it till next month meeting because we were discussing who we feel would work well in the positions, and we ended up seeing if Melissa would be the one who would want to be nominated for co-chair, and if
I don't want to be
Rosemary,
secretary.
you don't want to be secretary. So we were gonna postpone this for one more month
Sure.
because we still want to have a discussion about this.
Absolutely.
So you, the nominating committee will meet again?
Yep, we're gonna meet again and we'll be able to talk about it at next month's meeting.
5:45 next.
It's another meeting.
She's a trooper. And for, we ready to talk about, the candidate for the hiring committee that,
Yeah. So we had over 20 interested parties in our circulation assistant position, so it was really a difficult discussion on, really just to filter out, who had what for education and who had what for experience. But there were so many wonderful applicants. We were really blown away. It was really tough. I'm still on the fence. Still, I love them all. They were fabulous. But we have two that we kind of narrowed it down to, we had interviews, we interviewed 4 candidates that we felt had the most experience that was relevant to working at the circulation desk, working in libraries, public and academic, which, you know, those were just really, they had some amazing credentials. And we figured we would meet with the 4 that we had narrowed it down to, see, you know, how we felt about those candidates, talk about it. If those didn't work out, then we would go back to the other applications that we had and do a second round of interviews. But at this one, we did narrow it down to 2. So I don't know if, Paula, did you want to speak on them?
That they all had amazing personalities.
I can keep you over there things if you'd like to look at it.
We ended up coming up with Griffin Brown as the number 2, and he had experience with the library that he was at. Trying to see which one it was.
So yeah, Worcester Polytech.
Yeah. I think
Yes.
but-
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to think of which college he was at. And he works in that library. Great personality, was somebody who felt that he would be able to learn quickly if, you know, when put to the test. But the one that we had picked as the number 1 was Bridget Potter, and she just had a lot of excitement, and you could tell that, you know, she just had a love for the library, and just her credentials, and I think she was the one who was talking about going for library,
Master Library Assistant.
No, she was really interested in pursuing library careers, focused especially in social work, which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of social work librarians now working in the library space to help patrons in the community in like a different
What does that mean? What is it?
aspect. So like a social worker licensed coming in, having basically office hours within a library
Oh.
setting to help the community in various ways to become a much more relevant opportunity for people. So I thought that was really ambitious and, you know, definitely something to be said for that.
They both have college degrees.
Can we look at them?
Oh,
I'm just curious.
Yeah, is that how we pass it around? I know I didn't make copies of everything, but felt like I was killing trees.
No, it's okay.
With so many.
Thank you. I'm just curious.
Yeah, sure.
So I was on that committee too with Denise and Paula, and Bridget just really
Wow. Yeah.
was amazing.
she stood out.
She really was so well poised. She's a young woman who just has so much confidence and excitement, maturity. I was very, very blown away. She spoke so eloquently, so respectfully, so professionally. I just feel like she would be a really good fit to be one of the people that you first see when you come in here. She has this very calm, mindful, welcoming presence. It just reeked off of her.
I mean, even just you can see how she wrote the cover letter.
Yeah.
Most people, right?
Yeah.
They wouldn't even do that. She's obviously really interested.
So she was our first person that we interviewed, and I was like, I'm done. She said, go home. I was like, and of course I didn't, and I was open always, but she really stood out to me. So I really feel like she would be a great person, great asset to a library.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see that. I don't know if anyone else wants to look at it.
Now that you know that you picked her as the number one that we bring to the table. She did mention your name last night.
Did she?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's funny.
Her.
I was gonna say, Bridget worked in my area at the library, and you're absolutely right. I mean, I have never. It's rare that you find someone who's so impressive in their method, all their methodologies of communication.
Yes.
She's well spoken. She's well written. She's an excellent worker. She has drive. She's fresh out of college, I think, and I don't know if I was aware that she wanted to do that master's, but I'm like a drug pusher, so I'm always trying to get people to get a master's. As a matter of fact, I went down the alley of all the library schools, and I picked up all the brochures and I took it back to UMass because the students who work for us, but Bridget's amazing. She's absolutely amazing. So you guys did a great job. Good job.
Yeah.
I know that
Great.
it's like the moment we met, we were like, okay, we're done.
Well, it's like that, right?
For sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Very personable too.
Yes.
Is this a full-time position?
it's a part-time 25-hour.
This is the new one.
Yes. This is the new one. I was shocked to see so many professional resumes for a part-time circulation
Yeah.
assistant. I was blown away.
There is a glut of MLS people out there. Well, she doesn't have that,
Yeah, but she's.
but there is because Simmons is turning them out. But they're almost all archives people. You know, there are a lot out here. Yeah, so we get a ton of applications.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's amazing. I was talking with Kathy Leonard earlier today, and she said that we're the department that's received the most applications.
Yeah, they still can't find a grant writer yet. They're finding tons of people.
It's
It's
tough library,
only been 3 years.
right?
Wow.
I know.
It's like, and I always say that you see someone and you know whether or not they have it. And these two candidates especially, that I met them and I was like, oh yeah, obviously.
Mhm.
This
That's
makes
wonderful.
so much sense, especially Griffin, when we asked him, the very first question we asked him was, why would you want this job? And he's like, I just love libraries.
Yeah, and he could do so many things. You're looking at his resume and like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that computer science.
Yeah.
And like, this is a labor of love, you realize that,
Right.
correct?
Is this position an MLS position?
This one is not, this is, believe 2 years of college.
So this one is going to be
I'm sorry, Janice is,
another
the
opportunity for
youth
somebody.
services librarian will be another opportunity. We do need to talk about whether or not we're going to require more. It's a 2-year college requirement as of right now. But I think it would be really important for us as a board to look at the job description again and really decide if we want this person to be, bachelor degree holding, MLS holding. There's so much we can do. This person basically runs their own side of the building. So, how could we compensate for that? And, what kinds of responsibilities do we want that person to have in a newish setting? So yeah,
definitely someone who's good with events, because Janice was excellent with that.
Yeah.
I think people would miss that if they didn't have that.
Do we have to increase your salary if they held higher degree?
That's something that we will have to look at, because it was already raised a number of years ago. So we have to look at what we currently have and what this one requires and what the pay grade is, and we have to make it mesh properly.
Do you know how much it is?
This one's a grade 7. So it's, I don't have the paperwork on me, but the,
Is it in the 40s?
it's like, I want to say the lowest 27 an hour, 28 an hour.
That equals a thing.
It's,
Is that the highest grade?
no, I believe a grade 10 is the highest.
Okay.
It really should be.
I don't think there's anything wrong with asking for the master's degree at that one.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking is possibly requiring more education, because we're getting these applications with the education there.
Just because you can make sure someone stays, like you don't want to get someone who's,
Yeah, we want somebody who's
Yeah.
really, like, this is their passion.
yeah.
Especially with the youth services, that's a big one. Those are big shoes to fill. We have the opportunity to pull in someone who has a higher level of education and then compensate them properly.
Sure.
Well, I think that
Good
might be
idea.
beneficial.
Yeah, so I think that's.
Of course, one of these girls, like Winnie,
Yeah.
she might apply
Oh my
for it.
gosh, I know, like,
They'd probably be good at it.
Wendy's going for her master's degree as well, so that's something that.
Or an educator. Because is
Yeah.
that children through teen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm,
It is birth through,
an educator
yeah,
is important.
absolutely. So there's a lot for us to talk about and look at with that. Lots of opportunity.
I mean, I'm sorry, she's.
Well, an
So much
educator,
happening.
but they would have to have knowledge of the library.
Yes, sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
She was here a long time? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't go back and look
20+
at
years,
how many
I mean.
years yet, but it's
It's gotta be like.
Has to be at least 20, right?
20 plus.
Yeah, it's gotta be 25. I think she started
Wow.
before I did at the school.
Let's see, 2004 was full time.
We need to have a good party for her.
Yeah.
Because she's grown many generations of children here.
That's
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I know, we've
It'd be
seen a
nice
lot
to
of families.
collect letters from them or something like that, to do some kind of a.
That's a good idea.
Really
That's a great idea.
Will she be okay with?
No, she does. She said she didn't really want to party.
Oh, that's too bad.
So I was like, I don't know if I can promise.
So did Jan.
Jealous now, that's.
Pay any attention to that.
I know, I know.
Will we ask Janice for her, suggestions about recruiting for this or qualifications or, the kinds of things she thinks are most important?
Absolutely.
That's a good idea.
She'll have some
That's a really
thoughts.
good idea.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's a great idea, right?
I love that. I love that idea to collect letters from families. Oh my gosh. Okay, we got off topic.
Yes, so go back
We
to
have-
our hiring committee report, 2 candidates.
Oh.
I guess we
That's so
have
funny
to
that
make a
it's in there.
motion.
I
Colin?
just saw it today.
We have to make a motion to accept
Oh,
the plan that we set forth
to,
to have Bridget 1, Griffin 2.
yes, yeah.
Is there a possibility she might not want to take it? Is that?
That's why we have.
Yeah, but is that?
Well,
is that
we
from
just
talking
wanted to,
Did
err
not get
on
What
that.
did
the
you get that vibe on?
where if, no, I
The
know,
local too, so.
but it's always nice to have somebody who.
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
have.
But you don't know what they're doing outside of here.
Yeah,
They could have
exactly.
Another interview.
Yeah, and
Right, yeah, because you're gonna spend, right.
That's
What
fine.
happened?
Yeah, was that
Right.
right?
Another job that's off.
But,
Hours.
Right,
I don't think
it's not
so.
like it's full-time, right?
yeah, she seemed excited and,
That's great.
she did say the hours fit her
Okay.
schedule, so.
Does she have another job too? Will she, or,
So this is.
so it's only 25
hours.
hours?
Oh, she never mentioned that. She
Okay,
never mentioned that.
She's in school though, right?
No, she graduated in 2023.
No, but I thought she was pursuing a
She's
master's.
talking about it, she's not.
Okay.
This is great. I mean, I love his, yeah. It's fantastic. What a terrible problem to have.
It was so many, it was so many, and I really just, I wanted to be known that there were so many wonderful applicants, and it was
really was.
really difficult to.
It was difficult, yeah,
Had to be known.
Good problem to have.
It really is.
yeah.
was it hard? Because some of the people who applied are from town and,
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely, so there's that too, but most of them were from the surrounding areas and fresh, new people we've never even heard of. Just so many amazing candidates.
So when do you go to her?
Well, we would have to make a vote
Oh.
tonight, and then, all
Good, I can call them tomorrow and let them know that the decision was made that, we wanted to hire Bridget. So, with that being said, would somebody like to make a motion to, trying to think of how to word it?
I'll help you there.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to accept the 2 candidates, 1 being Bridget Potter and 2 being Griffin Brown,
yes.
as the position, as the library circulation assistant position.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Candace.
So now you call them? Is that
Yes.
what you do?
Yes. That's what I ended up doing when we decided on Winnie being
So did you call?
the cataloger.
Or how'd you do that?
I had just called
Form.
the first.
Right, and then, yeah.
So Jen, did you do their references? We talked about.
Yeah, so that, I was only able to get in contact with one so far, so we may have to just
Put a hold on
put a
that for
pin in
now.
it until I'm sure they're gonna be wonderful. I'm looking at a word of mouth one right
Mhm.
here.
Put me on her thing. Why didn't she put me on her things?
So I am waiting on one, she was supposed to get back to town hall with her references, so, as soon as she does that and I can speak with them, I can't foresee there being a problem, but, you know, with the way of doing things, I wanna make sure we do our due diligence. But as soon as that goes through, then we can offer
You can let me know.
the job.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And did you have a start date in mind?
Really, they could start anytime. They could start tomorrow. Well, probably not for the town, but as soon as they get their paperwork in, they can
Okay.
get started. We have the funding approved as of July 1st.
Now, do they have to be quarried?
Yes, they do.
Okay. Does that take a long time?
If they put it in right away, it shouldn't take long at all. You know, when he got her paperwork in and was ready to go within a couple days. So, yeah, we can start whenever they're ready.
What's the hourly on that one?
It is, oh, geez, hold on, I have it.
I'm sorry.
on the
Don't worry.
posting. That's okay.
It's quite low, I
It
think.
was like 17
Yeah.
something, I think.
That's what's going on. Over the 10 months, let's see. About the library, jobs. Shoot, I think it did.
I'm sorry.
Seven,
It's like 17 something, I think.
something.
Yeah.
How bad is that? Posting down, because we were just getting so many applicants, we had to take it down. We couldn't keep up. Oh, there it is. 1733. Perfect, thank you. So, yeah.
So with Janice's retirement and you mentioning us wanting to redesign the job description, how do you want that to work? Like, do you want to put that on the agenda for the next meeting?
That's up to the group, if you think the library hiring committee
Okay.
can handle it, or if we would rather do it as a board. That's up to the board. I'd have to look at that job description and, yeah, pay grades and all that. Probably would be good to work as a committee. I mean, you have a better insight to all that kind of
I've
information.
done it a fair amount. I'd be happy to look at it if that was helpful to the committee or whatever's helpful.
To see about doing that for next meeting.
For next meeting.
For our next meeting that
Would be
we
the
can,
August meeting.
yeah.
We can talk about it then.
because it would be good to have everybody's input
Yeah.
on
And
this.
we would have to,
Sure.
if we're going to make any changes at all, we do need to go to the personnel board as well. So we want to make sure we give ourselves enough time to make the changes for the personnel board, get it approved, and then post the position with enough time to find someone for the end of September.
Is that the town personnel board?
Yes.
What's the town? We have to submit the job
We would have to
description?
go to them if we wanted to make any changes.
Was it probably hasn't been updated in a while?
Yeah, it's been a
So you probably are gonna have to make changes, but if we we'll make sound changes, we'll be able to explain it to them, they can't disapprove it like
Yeah,
that.
it'll
Select
just
board.
don't foresee there being.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. How
It's a
often?
different group of folks.
We're doing this
It'll be
for
all right.
the best, the better of the library.
I mean, I don't like the idea of they're second guessing this group, but I understand that that's part of the,
Is that a volunteer? The personnel board, or do they get paid, or?
I think we
Oh, is this the,
I think they
is this a committee?
going to get appointed
appointed by the select board, I assume.
by the moderator, Ronnie? And who moderator do the appointee? I believe. Just see who's up on here.
How often does the select board, the personnel board meet? Does anybody know?
Isn't it just
You
a
don't
couple
know.
times a year, or like necessary?
Yeah, but they have to be able to do business in
be on their
between.
agenda before.
Yeah.
And they've gotten us in a timely manner.
Yeah.
So if we let Kathy know that this is what we're working on, I'm sure that
Wait, Kathy's still there?
she can, yes, she
Okay, that's
is.
good.
Add us,
Yeah.
to their agenda. Let's see. Let's see the personal phone.
Have they found anyone to replace her yet? We're still looking around.
They're not on the website. But that is something we can request to be added to.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I wonder if we should find out when the next meeting is, or unless they would meet, as requested.
Right. I can do that. I can, reach out to Kathy. Okay. I will do that and get us clear information on a meeting with them. To see if we can put on their agenda,
So Jen, if you could get all of us a copy of the current job description so we can all sit here and kind of brainstorm and, go through it step by
Fast,
step.
right. Do it quickly, sure.
Yeah, so we
Right,
can have our
helpful.
notes for the next meeting.
It's hard to talk about typewriters if it's 25 years old.
it was so funny that I think we did redo them like the early 2010s, so it might not be too dinosaur-ish.
Yes.
but It was funny because one of the applicants last night was like, "What is an OPAC?"
Ah.
We had put that in. It was in there, and it's the helping patrons with the OPAC, and I'm like, "What the hell was in?" And it's like patron access computers. But
They call it something else now, don't they?
yeah, I'm pretty sure there's another word for it, but it was like, well,
It's all the
that's
same thing.
well,
So
dinosaur
I changed some words.
in there, but we knew it. It's fine. Okay, so then I'll send out a copy of the job description, and I'll also send out a copy of the current pay scale as well to go along with it, so everybody can kind of see.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's helpful to include information about our other current positions to kind of compare, I can also do that. Kind of see like where everybody falls. I can do that as well. To have some comparable information.
Is it within the authority of this board to adjust that salary?
It is in order for us to go and make a suggestion to the personnel board, but it's ultimately the personnel board who would
Change the step
make that.
or whatever. However you do it.
Yeah, because that's how it was. It was changed before, was by going to that. So we'd have to see what the steps would be if we wanted to change it back, or if it's easier just to increase the requirements for the position.
Mhm.
Just make this professional.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of questions that we'll have to have answered.
Yeah.
That is 34 hours or 30?
That one is 34, yes. You have to think about that.
So full-time?
Yes, that one is full-time, fully benefited.
Someone's been really happy.
As it should be, my
Yeah.
God, I'm sure
Yeah.
she spends more than 34 hours.
An amazing
Oh.
opportunity. But really, really tough shoes to fill.
Really,
sure.
yeah.
I'm gonna have a whole new staff.
You are.
It's exciting.
Change is good.
Yeah. In baby increments.
Yeah.
One at a time. That's why I was like, having a hard time thinking about that one before filling this one.
Right.
Like I need to do this and then we can focus on that. So I didn't wanna do them both tonight. But we had to get the word out there so we can start planning, 'cause it will take a little bit.
Time flies.
Time does fly. Looking at how long this has all taken and it's something good to do it now. Get started.
I do have faith that we will find somebody amazing. It's hard shoes to fill, but look at what we've seen coming through the door for these other positions. It's really been really refreshing to be on that committee.
Great.
It's been fun.
Yeah, it's exciting to see excitement for the library,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So,
I'm sure Janice will leave it easy to navigate, so.
Absolutely. I'm not sure she.
Cheat sheets all over the place.
She's throwing it together.
so for that position, that would be like a start date after she retires on the 29th?
Yes, so that would be like an October start.
Okay.
And would there be a benefit for that to overlap for a little bit of one-on-one training time?
That is a possibility. We would have to discuss with the select board as far as budgeting goes. We should have extra funds in the budget accounts because there is such a big difference between the people coming on board and the people that were leaving. So it's a possibility they would allow that and have to get the approval quick.
Even a few
That'd be a
days would
quick
probably be
quick
beneficial.
turnaround. Yeah,
Fast as fast.
Yeah, good idea.
that is a great idea.
I was wondering about that, if there would be like any kind of overlap where there could be like a week of training orders.
Well, like, town administrators, or weren't they working side by side for a while?
I believe so. Yeah, I'm not sure how that was handled financially, but, I think it makes sense.
Good idea.
That there will be, it was difficult with Jean's position, the cataloger circulation assistant, because she was leaving at the end of the fiscal year. And the new person was coming on literal weeks before the end of the fiscal year, so the money just wasn't there, to cover both. But now moving into this new fiscal year, it might be a possibility. So there will be funding there that, we'll also have to think about budgeting season and the state going, okay, well, what happened? Because now we'll be asking for much less. So it's gonna be a tricky business. We may have to go to them to explain ourselves and do all that stuff. But I don't think you have to go to Boston anymore to have an in-person meeting. I think they do things a little bit easier. But we'll see. That's on my radar too. Not that I'm trying to think that far ahead, but I'm like, oh, our budget. It's not gonna look the same, but it is what it is, as changes happen.
And why is it less?
So the two positions that are recently retired / retiring were making a grade or a step 10 in their grade. And so the incoming people are making a step 1, so there's a big skew difference in.
So that differential might cover an overlap,
Exactly.
right?
Whereas we could do it at the end of last year.
I mean, I don't know whether we hire at the beginning or we hire at some level above. We're
Yeah, it
gonna-
makes a difference as
But
to
still-
when fiscal year we.
Janice being at the top, we might have, that might cover the overlap of the two, of the position.
Also, though, with that one, you might have to negotiate maybe to get week one, so, bring them up a step or two. If
Yeah.
they do that. I mean,
How hard it is to move up those steps.
That's it.
if you have somebody with experience, they might need
Mm.
a slightly higher salary.
How is it determined what step a person is that just, this is a new position, you start
You
at
start
one
at
no
7.
matter what?
Yeah, so the grade
No
level
matter what you bring
is
to the
based on
table?
the position. and
No,
your
I think
requirements.
not.
Well, she's saying yes.
So there are grades and then there are steps within the grade.
Right, but if we adjust the salary, would we adjust the whole range, or would we just say we were gonna place that person, given the amount of experience they bring, for example? Could we, as the Board of Trustees, propose that that person be hired at level 2 or 3?
It could be proposed. I don't know
Okay.
if they would, for instance, so when I was hired as director, they started me at my regular grade. And then when I received my master's degree, I had gone to the board and said, okay, well, I just
Right.
got my master's degree in this. And they were able to negotiate with the personnel board a couple of step increase for me at the time. So that is something that is a possibility that.
If we adjusted the qualification requirements, for example, we might
Yeah.
certainly adjust the salary, but I don't know what any of the numbers are, so.
Yeah.
It sounds like maybe it's that personnel board that does that, so yeah.
Definitely have to talk with them.
But we could propose it to the personnel board.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know, but I'm guessing. Just guessing.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a little bit of footwork that we'll have to do in order to get where we wanna be with this position, so.
Well, when we were trying to get the position and we had to go and meet in front of the select board, they were talking about the steps and the grades. And there were specific, things saying what step the position's at and which grade the position's at. You know, they had this whole,
Yeah, they have like a formula, I think, to
Yeah,
it, right,
yeah.
based on
Yeah.
the person's requirements and what the scope
Okay.
of their job is and. All of
but right now, as I heard you, the qualifications we might adjust the qualifications, right?
Yes, that's what I'm thinking, based on
I
what.
think a conversation with the personnel board, I think you'll get a sense of how that all plays out.
Absolutely.
So, we're trying to figure it out here and we don't have the answer, so I think talking with them, you'll be like, oh, okay, that's how it all
Definitely, yeah,
works.
this is definitely their wheelhouse.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
I think it'd be really beneficial to have a
Sure.
conversation with them.
Sure.
And I can pass the letter that Jan wrote to the trustee board around. If everyone does want to have a peek at it and read it. It's pretty well written. Just going to be dearly missed.
Mhm.
Won't think about it, right? I'm being forced to think about things I don't want to think of.
It's hard.
And there's so much change happening all at
A lot
once.
of change happening.
Yeah, a lot.
Because it's been the same old forever.
Let's say, I said we were a well-oiled machine for a very
Yes.
long time. And, things change. It's okay. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. It's all gonna be fun.
I'm always jealous of the people who retire. Jealous, just jealous.
Amazing. I know. And then I know firsthand that one of them's been at the Cape for the past 15, 16, 17 days.
It's completely unfair. Should be able to.
It's hardly fair. And then she asked me to bring her package that came in. It was more clothes so she could stay longer. Man, thanks.
Things like the injury
Yeah.
does.
She's like, okay, well, enjoy your pants.
to visit yet.
No, not yet. Although she has sharks for us. She made these adorable little crochet sharks that look a lot like our little gnomes for Shark Week, which starts July 20th. If anyone's interested.
Oh,
Coming in.
She's still keeping busy.
Yes, absolutely. She hasn't stopped. She's knitting up a storm over here. Yep, July 20th starts Shark Week. We'll have Shark Week festivities and we'll have her bags for sale. And she still makes herself known in the building, regardless of whether or not she's here. It's amazing.
Great.
Yeah. But I'm happy for even no choice. I'm doing the math. I'm like, how many more years do I have?
So do we have reading programs?
We do. Yeah, we have the 3 summer reading programs for the adults, the teens, and the youth, the toddler and the older children too. So it's all out there. If you guys want to sign up for adult summer reading, get a raffle ticket for every 2 books you read. Lots of great prizes and stuff going on. It's great. Yeah, nothing too crazy this year. Just any two books you want to read. No bingo.
Is this okay? I read a ton of these kind of books every
I always said that, like, how many picture books equal a grown-up book? Because I was reading a lot of those for a long time. It's just, like, not fair. Reading is reading.
We were talking about NPR and about whether people consider listening to audiobooks as reading. Did you hear that? They were talking
No,
about it? Just kind of fun.
it's an age-old debate, though. I know a lot of people get very heated about that.
Baby boomers, I think that they were the ones who said no. That is not reading.
I think it's fine. I used to, commute to work, used to listen to books on.
Yeah.
That's totally fine. I don't know who those people were, but
Yeah.
they're talking about it.
But you're keeping your brain active in a different way. Doesn't matter. Right?
If you like it, you like it.
Mhm. Well, if you have to read young readers,
Subtitles on
read young readers.
movies.
Graphic novels. I mean, there's all sorts of
Same
books.
thing,
Yeah.
yeah, for grown-ups. And I know a lot of families that love the audiobooks for like car rides for the kids and like listening to Harry Potter all the way to Florida or whatever it may be. It's been like really beneficial for a lot of families too, and keep the kiddos busy and keep everyone sane.
Yeah.
I love my audiobooks. If I didn't have audiobooks, I wouldn't get to read as much as I do. So.
They have like those little boxes now that the card in, little tilting or something on top for $20.
Yes.
Yeah, they're amazing.
What is that? I don't know, just heard.
I think they're called Tony boxes.
$20.
Yeah.
Something, it's a toy. So for a little kid,
Yeah.
you put a little toy on there and
Toy,
it tells you that story.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Like books and CD. We used to play for the kids, the books and CD.
Yeah, like little.
Don't feel bad, I'm wrong.
My daughter told me about it today, so
It's
I
really
just saw them at the American Library Association conference. I just saw them. So they're selling like hotcakes.
tiny boxes.
Yeah.
no, some libraries carry.
You ever heard of it?
We don't have it here yet.
This is the first time I'm
Wonder
hearing about it.
books.
The books that you put in the back, you push the button and it reads to you.
Yeah, it's
It's
back in the
dark
like,
ages.
just kind of read along with. I mean, it's been work.
They don't, they run the tapes, so perfect.
Exactly. Use flash CDs or anything.
Well, then, do we have anything other that we needed to talk about? Anybody?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so that, somebody want to make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
7:24.
If anybody would like buttons,
What do they
please help us
say?
out. They say all sorts of different things. I got these at the conference.
I'm the band.
They're from the American Library Association conference.
Where was it this year?
It was in Philadelphia.
Oh,
And it
nice,
was
you could
so
drive.
hot. It was so hot there. Yeah. Yeah.
How long did it take?
4.5.
Do you want the extra one?
We didn't finish that. Oh, Denise, did you make a motion to, will you second?
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
It's a
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.